On this episode of Relationship 911, we have a question from Louise. Louise's boyfriend just proposed to her, but they've been having a lot of arguments lately, and she's concerned that he proposed just to try and make things better, as a fix. So she's not sure if it's time to get married. Any thoughts for Louise?
Yes. So Louise, maybe it's a great sign. You guys haven't been getting along, and yet he asked you and you said yes, and now we're on the road to recovery and the planning of a wedding. And what Jan and I always say to our new couples when we're working with them is, when you're planning a wedding, every single thing in the book is going to come forward. So whether you started arguing before and it's continuing, or whether it's just been something going on and you're just not sure what to think about it moving forward, it's a beautiful opportunity to ask yourself, what is the trigger underneath? What's causing this feeling inside of myself that I'm upset all the time? And what might be causing my partner's feeling of upset? Because if he proposed to you, clearly there's some sort of love and longing for commitment. But if you're questioning whether he's the one, then we need to get underneath what's the triggers, what's the problems, what's the concern, what's the long-term misunderstanding that's been developed over time, and now it's coming to the surface.
But getting married to solve the problem typically will not solve the problem. I didn't say always, but typically it's just potentially being a distraction that then the problem will then come forward again.
Yeah, the key is there's a problem.
Right.
And nothing outside of the problem, except for working on the problem and what's at the core of the problem, is the solution.
Right. So what we recommend is actually separating them. And you may say yes or you may not say yes, but regardless, let's say you say yes, and we still have an issue that I need us to work through for us to be able to be happily married. Or I'm going to say no right now so that we can work through this. And then when we're not arguing as much, then can you ask me again? Can I just say yes? Can I ask you? Monika asked me actually a couple times in our relationship. So, it doesn't have to be so traditional. So I think what's really important is if in your heart you feel like maybe they're doing this as a way to be a fix, just if you have a really authentic, loving relationship, maybe you should be able to share that with your partner and just say, this is what I'm feeling. Is this what's happening? Can we work this out? And thank you so much. And I'm so excited. And maybe they do get married.
Well, and what I think is coming forward for my question is, if you were sitting across from me, the question I'd ask you is, what do you feel like is the misunderstanding? What is the source of all the arguments? Why do you feel like you're not getting along, you're not seeing eye to eye? Because sometimes what we find is that one partner wants to do the work and the other partner really doesn't want to. So everything they do is to fix, solve, and not deal with. They don't like confrontation. They don't want to deal with the solution. And in those cases, that's just a person that just may not be ready to face what it is that they need to deal with. And if you aren't willing to walk by their side until they're ready for that, because it can take a long time for someone to be in denial, then that's a great sign of what's in store for you.
One thing that's really important is that a lot of times when people feel like there's an issue in their relationship, they just go straight to the fix. And if you go straight to your boyfriend and you say, listen, this is what my issue is around this proposal, it might really hurt his feelings, because it could potentially have him feel that you're jumping past the fact that he just asked you to marry him, that he just said, I want to be committed to you, that he said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And you're going to, this is what the problem is and let's try and fix it. So often, whenever you're about to have a large conversation, it's really important to acknowledge the gifts and acknowledge the love. And that's what we recommend, is whatever you do, please do your best to have your partner feel loved and received and celebrated about this request that they made. And then that's a beautiful way to then go into, and here's what I'm feeling. I'm not sure because of these reasons. And what should we do? And then it can be a lovely conversation, which is what relationship's all about. So in conclusion, Louise, we don't necessarily recommend getting married to solve a problem, or maybe it's not a great idea to have a baby to solve a problem. Probably the best way to move forward is to address the thing that's creating upset. And then all those other things will really work out much better with a lot more love as a foundation than an upset. And so that's what we recommend, is the thing that you move forward with talking about with your partner.
So if this resonates with you, if you have more questions, if you have comments, or if you have a similar situation, go ahead and click the like button to let us know, and comment what is going on in your relationships and how have you navigated this.
And for more help with your relationship, click the subscribe button for more Relationship 911.